Hello, this is Ayaan from Bridgeville and Southfield Township Libraries. Today we are going to look at some resources for identification and tracking while birding. Right now we're looking at the eBird website from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. There's also a free eBird app. All that you'll need is a free account in order to use both. The Ebert app is great for birding on the go. You can use it to identify, and they have a checklist that you can just check off what birds you see. It also tracks the distance that you've traveled while birding, and it keeps track of the location that you are in while identifying the birds. And all of that information automatically transfers over to the eBird website since it's linked to your account. Now you can do all of those actions on the website by coming here to submit. And it'll ask you to identify a location. So we'll start by saying Allegheny. And then from here we can narrow it to a more precise space. So we'll say we were in Boyce Mayview Park. And we were, let's say, over here. We'll call that Boyce. And now we have to pick an observation date and also an observation type. So were we walking along? Were we out in a field? Stationary? Were we, just bird watching from our home? Historical? We can't quite remember when we started or stopped, how far we traveled. Incidental? We weren't birding per se. We just were out and about and saw a bird. So which one were we doing? I'm going to choose traveling. So I started at noon and I was out for 1 hour and I went a mile. It was party of 1. So I will hit continue. And here is a list of the most common birds in the area. And so I can go ahead and put in the number of birds that I saw while I was out birding. So if I go through, and I can just go down the checklist. Now, if you see a rarity, you can come over here and say show rarities. And then it will show me the birds that are considered rare, and I can have the option to select those. Now when I'm done, I can come over here and check this question, which says, are you submitting a complete checklist of the birds that I was able to identify? So I'll say yes and submit. And so I observed 3 species. And at this point, I have the option to add media. So if I took pictures, I can upload some pictures. If I have some audio of bird calls, I can upload that as well. But if I don't have any, I'm done. And I can go to my eBird to see where it tracks my birding over time. And you can see species with photo, species with audio, and eBird also lets you see what other folks have uploaded. So you can go under Explore and search in this area. See species maps, photos and sound, and hotspots, which are places with a lot of bird activity. So that's the eBird website and app. Now we're going to look at the Audubon app for for identification.
We are now looking at the Audubon App, which is a free app that is great for identification. So here we're on the home page, and we have an option for identify a bird and search the guide. Now the field guide can actually be downloaded and used offline, so that's a great feature for when you're out in the field on a birding trip. Now if I click identify a bird, it brings us to a page where we can specify our location and also the month of the year that we'll be out and about birding. Now I have multiple options for how I want to identify a bird. I can do size, color, wing shape. I'm going to choose color. Now say I have a bird that is red and tan. If you notice, the pictures here at the bottom of the screen have automatically updated to give me suggestions on the bird that I may be seeing. So I can scroll through and see if I can find it. I can also narrow down my search by the size of the bird that I'm seeing. So say it's the size of a sparrow. Now automatically, I've narrowed down a bunch of my possibilities. So that is just some options that this app gives you for identification. Now if we go back to the main screen, you can make a free account with this, and it will open up a few more options as far as tracking your bird sightings. So with that account, you can do add a sighting, and you can have my Audubon. And your sightings will be tracked on the map here. You can upload photos, and the locations of your bird sightings will appear. But this app is really best and very useful for bird identification. So thank you for tuning in, and have a great day, everyone.